we're going to fit a CISS, continuous ink supply system, to an Epson WF 2010 printer. This CISS, and let's refer to it as an InkTank because most people know it as that. This InkTank has got dye sublimation ink in. So I've never fitted one. We've sold plenty of the CISS, but I've never fitted one. And I thought it's about time we had a look at it. So Sandra's going to zoom in. Sandra's on the camera today. And let's have a look to see how this works. Let's have a look what you get in the kit first. You'd have your continuous ink supply system, or let's call it InkTank. So we've got our InkTank already filled, already primed, good to go. So you'd take that out of the box. On the top, you've got your filling hole, you've got an air hole, and you have, we think it's a priming hole, or we refer to it as a priming hole, but we'll go through those as we go. You've got your tubes and you've got your cartridges. Now I'm going to pop the InkTank down, and Sandra's going to come in from the top. Now, there we go. So you've got there a reset button. You've got a battery, and there's your chips. So let's have a look at how this fits, and this could go horribly wrong. So let's have a look. I'm going to come around the front. Firstly, we'll turn the printer on. Let it do its thing. Once the printer's on, I'm going to immediately pull the power lead out so that I can freewheel this ink cartridge carriage. There we go. It's going to park up here because there's no cartridges in it. There we go. Without further ado, let's pull out the power lead. That's done. Right, what have we got here? We need to get the cartridges in the cartridge container there. And what we need to do is bring them over carefully, line them up, and really firmly press those down. I think they're all in. There we go. It's easy to get a single cartridge in, but you've got a block of force, so you've got to apply a little bit more force. But just make sure they're down and clicked in and home. You'll soon see. So what we now need to do is to align our cable arm, just there. So if we set that up in line with our ink tube and just take the pad off the back, there we go. And as I say, we just line that up with where the ink tubes are coming out, just there, and we've got that. Now, if we freewheel the carriage over and gently bring back our ink tube, and we should be able to click that nicely into place. Just a couple of clips will do it. And what we need to do now is just check that that runs without the pipes over flexing. I think there's too much there, so I'm going to pull a little bit back. If you look, it's just hitting on there. I don't want it too tight and I don't want it too loose. So if we bring that back here, that seems good. Now I'm going to remove from the ink tank, open the air hole. We do have air filters for these that we can pop in afterwards. That's a personal choice thing. But let me bob that down there. Let me go back and plug the printer back in. And we'll turn it on and we'll get the thing primed up and we'll get a print out of it. Let it do its thing. Because we've had the power lead out, it just needs to recalibrate, and then we'll start to see what we're dealing with. It may well not recognize the cartridges. We may have to press a button, but if that's the case, it will just park up here at the cartridge it's not recognized, which will be all 4 of them if it does indeed not recognize them. Well, the tubes seem to be okay. You've probably noticed some air in the tube. I'm going to open the flow up now. And the printer should start to prime and pull that through. As I've said, it's not recognised the cartridge. So let's hold the button in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. And that's the light gone out. Let's hit the waste paper bin button and let it do its thing. There we go, it seems to have accepted the cartridges. Now we just need the printer to prime the cartridges, pull the ink through. You may see it on the yellow pipe. I don't know fully what you can see there. But the printer will pull more ink into the cartridges and that will be primed. There isn't a lot to it. It seems to be very, very simple. I assure you this is the first time that I've installed one of these. What I'm looking at, it looks very simple. Whilst this is setting itself up, I'm going to go around the back and I'm going to put some paper in rather than stand there and waffle. And this printer's never been printed with before. It's brand new out the box. It's still sorting itself out. Once the green light stops flashing, it's good to go. I'm sorry, I wish there was something more interesting to show you. We've just got to wait and get through it, haven't we? Looking at your ink lines, there's no air in the pipes. It's nice and full of ink, so things are looking pretty good. Let's talk a bit about the continuous ink supply system. I like these because they're nice and compact. It's a nice compact unit and it's got several features that I like. You have this sticking pad here, and I'm going to ask Sandra, there you go, you've got it. You got this sticking pad. This goes onto the back of the CIS and you can actually stick the CIS to the printer. I'm not going to do that, but we will show you that in a moment. I'm just infilling where there's nothing to do, so we can pull some air filters out. There we go. Hopefully, we're there. Hopefully. I stress, this is the first time, a brand new printer, so it's the first time it's had any ink in it at all. Perhaps on reflection, we would have been best using a printer that had already been used. But as you can see, the green light, I thought it'd stop flashing then. Whilst that's doing its thing, I'm going to ask Sandra to go to the zoom in camera so we can look at a couple of other things. As soon as that's ready, we'll do a print. Here we go. You get a much better, a broader view of this. As I say, and as already said, you've got some holes here, and we've got some little air filters that you can bob in. We've got 4. And I'll put all 4 in, and it's a personal choice really. I would run it with this all closed up, but I know some people prefer to use the filters. So that's our filters in, and hey ho, we seem to have stopped. The printer seems good to go, and I'm going to ask Sandra to put a print through. If you just do a nozzle test, Sandra, then we can see what's going on. There we go. Well, I'm pleasantly surprised at that. Absolutely perfect. You've got a little mark here, but for a first startup, that is not bad. Okay, so now we're going to print out a dye sublimation image that we would use. It's a mirrored image. This CISS is filled with dye sublimation ink, so let's just print one out and have a look, and then I would say that's that done. And if you want, you can bring the lid down. Now that's a great option. When you're using a printer on dye sublimation work or other work where you're doing quite a few prints, refilling the cartridge, different cartridge colours at different times can be an absolute pain. So looking at that, looking at the installation of it, looking at how easy it was, yeah, we would recommend that. And indeed, we have those up on our website. We will improve this video in terms of content a little bit further down the road, but in the meantime, that should do to get you up and running. Let's just wait through. We'll see this print come through, see what we've got. As a company, we sell printer bundles with refillable cartridges. We sell them with continuous ink supply systems, and we also do tank printers. We sell tank printers already set up. The reason we've gone down this route with this particular printer, and there's another one that we do, a WF 2810, is they're nice economical printers, and they're really good at what they do, what we use them for, predominantly dye sublimation printing, but attaching a low-cost CIS saves you about £50 from buying a tank printer. It's just another way to go. But these days we need to save whatever we can. There we go, that's coming up nicely. There isn't a great... I did say that we would show you how you can stick this on. And what would happen there, I'm going to take these air filters out because I like to close it up as a unit. There we go. This part fits in the back here. Just like that. You'd peel your backing tapes off. Sandra, could you just zoom in on that for me, please? You'd peel your backing tapes off and you would just position it neatly here. And that makes for a nice, neat unit. Now, obviously, you will want to bring these pipes around and we would look at doing that. How would we do that? We could drop them down there and we could sort them out. There we go, we've got that out. If you'd like to just zoom in on that, and as you can see, don't expect a lot of colour on that because it's a dye sublimation print. The colour comes out when it goes on the mug. But there we go. That's a WF 2010 W printer with a CIS fitted and good to go. I hope that's been useful. Thank you.